Perfect. Okay, so very welcome everyone. I'm Tash, and today we're going to do a 35-minute restorative yoga session for symptoms of low mood, low energy, and depression. So, depression affects 264 million people worldwide, of all ages, all genders, etc. So, it's really something that can pop up in our lives when we least expect it. And rather than kind of fighting against it, I want to create a space where we can acknowledge how we're feeling, kind of create a space where we accept how we're feeling, the ups and downs, and just give ourselves a safe space to relax. So you're going to need a couple of props for today's session. If you've got a bolster, grab a bolster. If not, have two long sleeping pillows. They'll do the same job. A blanket and two bricks if you have them. Option something to cover the eyes. So an eye pillow or a scarf just to kind of block out some of the light. And we're going to go straight into our restorative posture from here. So we'll start in a supported fish pose. And for this posture, you're going to need one brick. And if you haven't got a brick, you can always use a cushion instead, otherwise bringing the brick behind you. And then we're going to create kind of like an incline here. So depending on how soft your pillows are, you might just want to remove the brick and just have the pillows behind you. But if you've got some quite firm pillows, then you can take that behind you or a bolster and then place that on top of the brick so you're creating a little bit of an incline, kind of like you're creating a ramp. And then we'll drape a blanket at the top of the bolster just to create a soft landing for the head. And then we're going to turn around from our little construction. Let the legs go long, feet flopping away from each other. Scoot the bum a little bit closer towards the bolster or your pillows, and then just lie the spine back down. If you want a little bit more height for the head, then you can always roll up the blanket. So creating a little bit of a sausage shape. And then you can have a little bit more support for the head like that. Arms come down either side of the body, palms facing up or facing down. And just take a moment to settle here. So sometimes I just like to kind of rub the back of the body on the props and the mat beneath me, maybe flex and point the feet a couple of times. You might even want to roll the wrists left and right, especially if you've been working at a laptop or a device, kind of typing away. It can sometimes be quite nice to bring some movement into this area. And then settling the hands down wherever feels most comfortable for you. Option to close the eyes, maybe draping something on top of the eyes. And we'll settle using a few breaths. So when you're ready, inhaling through your nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Let it go. Allowing yourself about 2 more breaths like that. Breathing in to fill up. And breathing out to let go. And again, once more, inhaling, filling the chest, belly, lungs. Exhaling, maybe there's even a sigh out this time. Letting the breath resume back to its natural, effortless rhythm. And notice what this stillness brings up for you. Checking with the body, so maybe there's some sense of restlessness, irritation, frustration, or symptoms of low mood and depression. Maybe checking in with your emotional world if that doesn't feel too difficult right now. And just holding yourself where you are, knowing that this is a safe space to explore your feelings, your body, your breath. Let feelings pass through you. Allowing the skin across the forehead to gently soften. Muscles around the eyes and jaw can soften too. Inviting the tongue to relax right down to the root and have a sense of the shoulders just falling back and down. So almost giving way to gravity. In this practice, there'll be spaces of silence and stillness. Even though I'm silent, just please know that I'm right here with you. And you'll hear my voice very, very soon. 3 more breaths in here. Taking a breath in through your nose. And then exhale that breath out through your mouth. When you feel ready to move, we'll start by just gently blinking the eyes open. Just get the eyes back into the space, land back into your body. And then as we inhale, just moving really slowly, we're going to reach both arms up towards the ceiling. So just allow them to float up in midair. And then exhale, crossing the right arm over the left. And just allow the arms to wrap around the body. So almost like you're giving yourself a nice big hug. So you can go really tight here with the hug if you need that extra bit of holding and pressure, maybe wrapping the arms a little bit more tighter around you. If you want to soften a little bit, maybe the elbows and the shoulders relax a little bit more. So it's a bit more of a looser hug. Hands might rest either side of your shoulders, maybe either side of the torso. And just maybe just gently rubbing the hands on the body. So this kind of light, tender, soft touch. Supportive touch can help to decondition this tendency to be at war with ourselves. Take a breath in and a breath out. And as that breath leaves the body, as we inhale, we'll unravel the arms, reach the arms back up overhead, wrist in line with shoulders, palms facing each other. And exhale, we'll take the opposite elbow on top. So left elbow on top, let the arms wrap around the body. So you're giving yourself a hug, just a left arm on top this time. And you can stay here in stillness, maybe that gentle rubbing of the fingertips or the palms either side of your shoulders, just that kind of gentle, soothing touch. Take a breath in and a breath out here. One more inhale. Super slow exhale. And carefully, gently unraveling the arms, reaching them back up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. Exhale, just rest the arms all the way back down. And we're going to bend the legs, bringing the soles of the feet on the mat. Hands come either side of the body. And just pressing down through the palms here. Slight engagement through the abdomen as you lift yourself off your props, bolster or pillows. And we'll take a rounded back forward fold just to counteract that back bend. So you can let the legs go long. If it feels more comfortable, just bending the legs here. If you're keeping the legs bent, arms can wrap around the knees, fingertips might come to interlace in front of the body. And just tuck the chin round through the spine and just let the spine dome here. If you've got the legs stretched out long, hands can rest either side as you allow the spine just to fold forward. So we're not really pushing the body here, nothing too intense. And just allowing the back of the body to expand a little bit. So the counteract motion of what we were doing just a second ago, back bending. Notice muscles in the face. Relax your heart. Find a sense of gentleness in the heart space. And then carefully lifting yourself all the way back up to seated. And we'll take ourselves into our last restorative posture. So it's going to be a supported inversion today. So supported inversions can be really helpful to relieve symptoms of low mood and also activate the relaxation response in the body. So I'm going to take you into a supported bridge pose and then we'll end with an optional supported shoulder stand. So totally up to you whether you want to take the shoulder stand or not, but we're going to set up for a bridge pose. So if you've got a bolster, taking the bolster widthways across the middle of your mat. If you haven't got a bolster and you've got quite thin pillows, then you can use 2 bricks on its lowest setting and then placing a blanket or a cushion on top of the brick. So it's kind of like a nice soft surface. So either using the bolster or the bricks. I'm just going to demonstrate with the bricks here because I feel like a lot of people might have bricks instead of a bolster. But if you've got a bolster, just have that bolster across the width of the mat. Then we're going to sit on your props, have them more or less in the middle of your mat. So you've got some space behind you for the spine to relax down. Take your attention to your feet. Feet, knees about hip width apart. Make sure the toes are pointing forward. So we're not trying to bring a V to the feet here. We're bringing the toes forwards. And then hands behind your bolster or your pillows. We're taking inhale, and as you exhale, pressing down through the feet and the hands to lift the hips. Slide the hips forwards. And then we'll bring the sacrum, this bony part just above the bum, on towards the props. And then using the elbows and the hands here just to carefully bring shoulders and head down towards the ground. And then just adjusting the body here. So you might find that you want to bring the props a little bit lower, maybe a bit higher. Just make sure the back of the body is supported. So the low back is supported by the props. Should feel quite comfortable. If this feels too much for your body, then you can just take this relaxation without any support underneath. So depending on how your body feels, you might want to take just a relaxation, spine supported by the ground. Otherwise, coming into supported bridge pose. And we're going to take the hands a little bit closer towards the body today. Maybe even placing the palms on the low belly, on the rib cage, one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. So using supportive touch can sometimes feel a little bit silly because you're touching yourself. However, the body responds to this touch the same way if you were going to receive it from someone else. But it's still soothing for your body, your nervous system. Slight tuck of the chin, maybe closing the eyes. Settling with the breathing. Nice full breath in. And exhale out. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. One more time, big breath in. Soft breath out. Let the breath resume in and out through your nose. Inviting the body to settle with heaviness. Let your body drop like an anchor into the ocean. That sense of heaviness spreading across the chest, the belly, pelvis and legs. Noticing any sensations, physical, emotional, perhaps even energetic. Breathing. Option to stay here for the next 2 minutes. If you're comfortable remaining in stillness, you want to come into a supported shoulder stand, we can explore here. Drawing one knee in towards the chest, both knees, and then start to extend both legs up towards the ceiling. If you've got the legs lifted, option to stay in stillness. Maybe the hands want to come down, so you've still got a sense of grounding through the arms, palms. Perhaps you bring a little bit of movement into the feet, a flex and a point, a few circles. We put a lot of pressure on the feet, so the ankle takes a lot of pressure during the day. Just use this time just to give a little bit of a TLC here, a little stretch. Maybe even starting to explore some movement with the legs, slither the legs. I quite like to take it into kind of like a bicycle motion here. Option to lower the legs whenever you need. And keep breathing. Main thing. Take a breath in and a breath out. Three more breaths in here. Take your time. Taking a breath in through your nose and then releasing that breath out. You've got the legs lifted, gently rebending the legs, landing one foot, followed by the other. Just notice any sensations through the legs, the lower back, the chest. And then we'll carefully make our way into our relaxation. Press down through the feet to lift the hips. Slide the props forwards. You can keep the bolster or the bricks underneath the knees here for a little bit of support as you lengthen the legs out. Highly recommend having something to cover the body, so a blanket just to keep yourself warm, a jumper. If you've got cozy socks, good time to put them on. Option to cover the eyes as well. If you haven't got anything to cover the eyes, then just explore closing the eyes if that doesn't feel uncomfortable for you. Darkness can be quite an important component to restorative yoga, as it can signal to the body that it's time to relax and rest. Before we go into our relaxation, I'm going to take you through a loving kindness meditation, a branch of the loving kindness meditation from Buddhism. So take a breath in and then release that breath out. And then bringing to mind somebody in your life that is easy to love. So it might be a pet, child, partner, friend, colleague, teacher, just somebody who's easy to soften around. What is it about this particular being that brings up this sense of safety, appreciation for you? Might be the look in the person's eyes, the way they show love to you, understanding to you. Their brightness, their beauty, humor, mischievousness, their basic aliveness. And then visualizing you expressing this sense of love and appreciation to this person, and that person receiving that. What might that look like? And we're going to widen your heart space now to include you, your loving, appreciative heart. Inviting you to rest in this gentle space until we're ready to transition out. Start to deepen your breath. Maybe taking a sweeter, deeper breath in and out. As your breath starts to deepen, just bring your attention to this question. When was the last time that I did something nice for myself? And what can I do for myself today or this week that's nice and nourishing for myself? Even if nothing occurs to you right now, just keeping that contemplation in your heart space, that intention of doing something nice for yourself soon. And gently beginning to bring some movement back to the body. So I always like to take a full body stretch here. Maybe a yawn. Ugh. Maybe a flexion point of the feet. Perhaps drawing one knee in towards the body, followed by the other, giving yourself a nice big hug, a little squeeze, maybe a gentle rock side to side. And then just letting your body float off to one side. So whichever side feels more comfortable for you as we carefully sit ourselves up into a comfortable seated position. Hands can rest wherever feels most comfortable. Maybe both hands on the heart space. And just gently bowing your chin down towards your heart as you thank you and your body for your practice today. And we'll end like we always do by taking one last deep breath in and out. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me on demand, online, and in person. Online, in person. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, week, and be really gentle on yourself. Thank you.